Now on BBC Two, it's Working Lunch.
Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Working Lunch.
And I'll be finding out why calling this wallpaper is an interior decor no-no.
What's the difference between wallpaper and wall covering? The price, I should imagine, would be one aspect of it. Rachel's been to see a business trying to cover itself in glory with a move into the domestic market here.
Muraspec have been designing and making wall coverings in the UK for over 30 years. Recently, it's been a difficult time for the market, but this company believes the fall and now slow recovery in the popularity of wall coverings can both be attributed to home DIY shows.
I think really since the 90s the business has had a turbulent time, I think it's fair to say. Although now I think there is definitely a move back towards wall coverings. Really I think you guys to some extent are to blame with programs like changing rooms. That created an environment where people felt that they could decorate very quickly, very easily. They would look to paint walls, use paint as a quick fix, and they felt really that they could change an environment if they got bored of it very, very easily. I think as a consequence of that, there was definitely a move to paint and minimalist effects. And I think, to be honest, our industry itself got a bit lazy in how it produced product and designed it. I think more recently, however, what we've got is that the products have changed. I think designers, the competitive nature of the market has meant wall covering manufacturers and designers have created products now that are interesting to use. Now I think wall coverings are coming back. It is a confidence given by changing room programs that people are willing to work with design, colour, bold designs more effectively. So I think the opportunities now for the wall covering industry are much, much better than they have been for the last 10, 15 years at the very least.
Your main customer base is commercial, but you're trying to break into the domestic market. Why are you doing that?
I think probably for two reasons. It's coming back. There's no doubt it's coming back. And it is also the case that I think the domestic market influences the commercial market. The minimalist effect in the domestic market absolutely took hold in the commercial world. So I think undoubtedly that there is that reference back from one market to the other. But I think key to it now is the fact that our products are more usable in the domestic world, and the domestic world is probably more ready to use our products.
Now, I've been told not to call it wallpaper, it's wall covering. What's the difference?
We would say there's a huge difference between the two. The fundamental differences are the width and durability and toughness of the product.
The other reason is that most of these rolls don't actually contain paper. The company make three types of covering, one which does have a paper backing and a vinyl front, another with a vinyl front and a fabric backing, and others made entirely out of alternative materials, including suede and seagrass. Matthew Hez is on the design team.
We have to take into account all our related industries. So if we work just in the wall covering industry on its own, we'd be quite insular and we wouldn't be able to evolve. So we look at flooring and lighting and upholstery. So when you take into account the hotel industry, for example, which we're a main player for, we have to take into account lighting conditions, how our products are going to work within a scheme as backdrops or feature walls, headboard walls, etc. So a good example will be this product here called Allure, which basically is thousands and thousands of coloured glass beads that enable the designer to be flexible in their own scheme, in their own right, and play around with lighting conditions to enhance the environment.
Now, you're obviously very original when you try and come up with your ideas. You've got some very innovative methods. Explain this design to me.
Right, this is our flowers design. It's a design that we created a couple of years ago purely for PR purposes. But the customer reaction was so immense that we decided to escalate that to a large colour palette. And this design, basically, instead of reinventing the wheel, and it's a natural looking design, we just went out and picked the actual real flowers and put them straight on the scanner bed and rearranged them and enlarged them. And
so you went for a walk, picked some flowers, put them on the scanner, and here's your design.
And there you go. It's as simple as that. There's no point, as I say, reinventing the wheel.
So John, where are we and what's happening now?
We're in the computer-aided design area, What we're essentially doing here is digitising the work from the studio, playing with the colours, playing with the scales and the whole concept, just to make sure it works in the final situation.
And what's happening now on the screen?
You can see that we're playing with colours. We may do many more colours than we actually end up working with in the final execution. We can put it into a room shot, we can therefore change the scale. In this case it's a retail shot. What we're trying to do is make sure that the colourways, the scale and everything to do with the design is appropriate for the end use we've got it.
Once everyone's happy with the design, it's engraved onto a large steel roller. Now this will actually be used in the factory, but before it's sent to the production line, it's taken here to the design lab where it's tested to make sure everything's correct. Muraspec roll out 150,000 square metres of wall covering every week, costing from 70 pence per square metre up to £70, and they export around 45% of their products across the world, as far afield as New Zealand and Dubai. And that's not surprising, because in the last 10 years UK consumers are buying less and more of what they do buy has been imported. According to the British Coating Federation, domestic sales in the UK have fallen from 68 million rolls in 1996 to an estimated 21 million rolls in 2006, and the percentage of UK sales that come from imports have risen from 12% to 36%. So Muraspec are trying to open up another area of the market, transferring digital images from your camera to your wall. I've got an inkjet printer at home, but this is the mother of all printers. It's massive. What's it actually doing?
It's doing the same thing as your inkjet printer at home, but on a much bigger scale. What this really allows us to do is add to our product portfolio photographic imagery, brand communication, changing environments, just photography or images to fit a wall space.
Now, if somebody had a picture on their digital camera of like their wedding photograph and they wanted it blown up so they could hang it on their bedroom wall, would you be able to do that?
Theoretically, yes, but in reality, we do only serve the commercial market at this time.
Feature walls are currently in fashion, and this company is trying to use that to its advantage. The big question is whether domestic consumers will develop a long-lasting taste for these commercial products.
Working lunch. Do join us again tomorrow at 1:45. Bye for now.